Hi everybody, I'm JayLeonardJ and I just released my very first single as a solo artist. The name of the song is I'm Gonna Make It, and today I'm going to tell you exactly how we put that tune together. What'll I do when the things get rough? What'll I say if I had enough? I'm gonna make it, yeah. Can I move on if I crash and fall? Can I stand up and I dust it off? I'm gonna make it, yeah. Well, it's a pretty exciting day for me. I'm officially announcing that, yeah, I just finished up and am ready to release my very first solo album. I've been on a lot of records in the past with bands and helping other people do their tunes, but this is the first time where my name is on the front of the cover, and I'm pretty darn excited to share this tune and this album with you. So I wrote the album in collaboration with one of my closest friends, Julien K, who you might know if you're familiar with the Asian Cantonese pop scene. He's a very accomplished artist, a writer, singer, songwriter, drummer, rock star kind of guy. Yeah, he came to Vancouver, helped me write it. And we're releasing the album in the spring. And there's a story about how that whole thing came together. Is a pretty crazy story. So I'm going to save that story for when we release the album. But today I'm going to tell you exactly how we put together the first single of that album, which is going to be I'm Gonna Make It. All right. So the way we wrote that song is there was a part of the writing process where we converted this whole room here into a writing room. So I pulled all this stuff out of it. We put a couple drum sets here. I was sitting at that desk and we were just switching instruments, going back and forth, writing tunes. And one thing that we always kind of like to play around with and goof off with is this over here. This is my Grez Mendocino baritone guitar. And the reason why is because it has a cool sound. It's kind of a neat instrument and it looks cool and it was just fun to play. And we were kind of partway through the writing sessions here, and we thought it'd be really cool to have an up-tempo song. We needed an up-tempo song, and we thought it'd be cool to have one that was based around the baritone guitar to kind of really give it a nice thumpy presence to it. So he was on the kit, I was on this, and we were playing different riffs, and eventually we settled on the main driving lick of the song, which is... So once we hit that, I'll be honest with you, we mixed it with bass and had it double it, and it's one of those situations where the song just kind of writes itself. The lick was really cool, and it was a great heartbeat, and we just started adding elements to it, and the song very quickly came together. We recorded the album at Afterlife Studios, which actually used to be called Mushroom Studios, which is the oldest purpose-built recording studio in Vancouver. A great sounding room. And then we had it produced by Ben Kaplan, who you may know from like the producer for Mother Mother. He's done projects with Snoop Dogg and Shakira. He's just absolutely brilliant person. The bed track of the album was actually me on guitar, June on the drums, and Jayce playing the keyboards.
Initially, we wanted a lot of key bass on it, but after doing the demos, we felt that an actual string-based guitar would actually have more impact and a bit more balls, if you may. I used a pick to play. It just gave it a bit more swag. You know, I wasn't going to be like the session bass player type. I just, you know, was just like he's a very obnoxious bass player. He was going to play his lines and you're going to follow me. Like that type of attitude.
This was actually, I believe, one of the few songs on the album where what I played on the what do you call it, the bed track is actually not what you hear on the album. We ended up redoing the guitars on my Friedman, and we got in the in-between, and it kind of gave me that cluck I was kind of missing in the bed track. We got that sound with a mixture of, I believe it was a Tone King Imperial and a Vibrolux, that classic old Vibrolux. We mixed those two together to give it that extra bit of kind of compression. We played with a bunch of different compressors, but the compressor I used the most on the entire album was the Keeley Compressor Pro, and that ended up becoming one of the MVPs of the whole recording process. We used that on a lot of tracks. I believe I just kept it on the auto setting too. I didn't have to tweak it very, very much, and it just made that Friedman really cut through that nice little percussive line that came through. Oh, it just made it just absolute crispy. When it came to the guitar solo, I believe we switched over to a Yamaha Pacifica Pro. So I used my Yamaha Pacifica on that one, and we played it through a Rev Generator 120 on the purple channel, which is my favorite channel on the Rev Generator. We also used a Friedman wah pedal, so it was like a wah into the Rev, and we got that Rev cooking up pretty good. We had it going through a 212 cabinet, so nothing too major. We wanted to have a little bit of directness to it. We did the solo in a couple passes. We didn't really, I think for most of the album, we didn't want to overwrite the solo, so I believe we got that one done pretty darn quick. We didn't pre-write the solos or anything like that, and I think that just adds to that urgency of the track. The last guitar tone we utilized on the single is that really lovely synthy kind of guitar sound. What that is actually an MXR talk box. So I'm using an MXR talk box, and then when I do the more vocal stuff, it's just the talk box on its own. And then when I'm using that main synth line, I activate an MXR octave fuzz, the slash one, and that's how I kind of get that cool sound. Yeah.
I like the fact that the drums and bass are the same, but they're not. I come from, I guess, a session background, and I think when you're playing a song in the studio, the most ideal situation is actually to have the bass and the kick drum kind of playing identical stuff, and just to be as proper, as clean as possible. And I come from that background, so that's why when I get a chance to let loose, even though I play the bass and I did play the drums, normally it would be in sync, but I definitely try to play different. When the drums is doing a syncopation here, I might not have the bass do the exact syncopation, just to give it that a bit like, oh, I did make sure that was happening on this song. And also, when it's synced, it was just really in the pocket, like at least to my ears. So
just like on the demo, we used my Grez Mendocino baritone guitar to double the bass part to give it that extra bit of percussiveness and thickness. I ran it through the same Tone King Imperial and Vibrolux setup that I used for the rhythm guitar parts, but one thing to note, I did not play the baritone guitar on this track. In fact, that guitar part's the only guitar on the album that I did not perform. It was actually performed by June. June did the drums, he did the bass, and he did the baritone, and that's why that bass and baritone part, they just stick to each other like glue and really, really just meld together perfectly.
Okay, this is my favorite part of the song. This is the part where I guess we channeled our champagne music god, Mr. Michael Jackson. Oof. MJ, yeah, you just can't say this name loosely, but we did channel his music for this section. And the end of that break, if you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say. If you know, you know.
When it came to the lyrics for the song, it really did reflect the overall vibe that was happening in this room while we were writing the album. So we had 2 weeks to write 6 songs in this. June could only be in Vancouver for a certain amount of time, so we had a very short window to write the last 6 songs of the album. And in that period, there was a lot of really crazy things that happened. So June's uncle died, and my mom's best friend died. And not only that, but I had one of my closest friends, his girlfriend also died. It was just really crazy stuff. My bass player had to be taken to the hospital because he fractured like the lower third of his spine. I had another friend that was stranded in Hong Kong because her husband got sick, and eventually her husband had to lose his leg. And it was just real crazy. I opened the door of my house in my daughter's face, and I had to take her to the hospital. June got sick. It was just nuts. So yeah, we were here and the vibe was great. We were so creative and having a lot of fun writing it, but there was also some real crazy stuff happening. And I guess for me, the overall theme of the album was really has to do with kind of resilience in the face of, real crazy hardships and some real tough times. And I guess this song, that kind of was reflected in the lyrics for this song as well. The song is really about, someone facing something overwhelming and, having that, that forwardness and that indomitable spirit to kind of push through. And that's kind of what the song's about. So yeah, the song is really upbeat. It's really fun, and it's really goofy, and it really is full of life, but definitely has the weight and themes of it kind of swimming under the surface. And in a nutshell, that's pretty much how we put together the song. The album is called Aw Man, and it's going to be released in the spring, and I'll be releasing different singles every month, hopefully, until the launch day. And the album is, it really runs the gamut. I got country songs, blues, surf music, pop music, funk music. It really runs the gamut. It's kind of like my love letter to all the songs that I grew up listening to. And I really do hope that you follow me on Spotify or your streaming site. The following number really makes it easier for me when I'm trying to get festivals and get grants and get tours and everything. It makes a huge difference. And it also keeps you up to date with all the new songs that are coming out as well. Keep your eyes on the page. I'll be dropping lots of videos, live concert footage, music videos, and all kinds of stuff for the album as the months go on. Oh, just so much excitement. That being said, I'll see you all soon. Take care and goodbye.